Hi everybody. Today I am going to try to do a car repair. Yes, I am. This is a DIY of a neutral gear shift. This is something that happens to the 2014 Mazda CX-5s, where when you put your car into park, the car doesn't know that it's in park and doesn't shut off. So the engine shuts off, but the radio stays on and therefore drains your battery. And then your battery goes dead and then you get stuck. Mia has a trip coming up in a couple days, so we're going to get this fixed for her and save her about $400. I got this part. I will show you. I got this part here. This is what has gone bad. This is, if you buy it at Mazda, is a $160 part. I got it from Walmart.com for $28 plus tax and shipping. So for $32, I am going to fix this car. We're going to need a pry tool to get the shifter pulled apart, and some Phillips head, and possibly a flathead. So I will document how I do. Okay, so here we are in the car, and what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to pry up this part here, get this knob unscrewed so that I can access the part that's under here. Once I get under here though, I'm going to have to remove some screws so that I can get the console pulled back to access this. So I'm told this should not take me more than a half hour. We will see how long it really takes me though. So for this part, to get the console pulled back, I need to remove these little pop-outs to access the screws. There's one on each side so that I can unscrew those and be able to pull the console back out of the way. Okay, so I got it off. As it turns out, this handy-dandy trim tool that's meant for pulling trim on a vehicle really was inadequate to get this off, so good old-fashioned butter knife did the trick. Okay, so I got the screws pulled out of the back of the console. Now I need to work on using my pry tool to start here and work my way around. And I will show you what it looks like when I get this off. This actually is lifting pretty easily, so it's just a bunch of pop clips. And I'm just going to work my way around, all the way around here. Oh, and I got a cord. This charging cord, get that out of the way. All right, so here's what we got. So underneath, I'm going to be getting to that. So I will show you what happens next. Okay, so I got it all loosened, but there's a little thing under here, see, that I need to loosen right there. You see the wire coming from it. I need to just unclip that so I can get it all the way out. Okay, so unclipping this sensor from underneath the bottom side so I can get it all the way out was a little bit problematic. So I actually unscrewed the gear shift knob so I could get it propped up a little bit better, so I can see that a little bit better to disconnect that there. Okay, so I got it apart. So look at, voila! So now what I need to do, this is the part right here that I need to replace. This is what's causing all the problems. This is what's not allowing the car to know that it's in park and therefore shut off all your auxiliary electronics, and will be responsible for draining your battery if you're unaware of it. So next up is removing these screws. This one and this one. When I remove these screws, that's actually what's securing the rest of the console in place. So once I get those out, I'll be able to pull this back to have better access. Okay, so I gave a little tug on the console here, and I got it all loose now from here. So, but in pulling this apart, I actually found out that the part that fits here and comes up and around is missing. So obviously someone has gotten into this vehicle before. I don't know, maybe this job has even been done before. I don't know, but that part is missing, and so now I will have to investigate, like, if that's a necessary part, because I'm not entirely sure what it does. So next up is removing this, and it's held in with some clips. So I am going to put the phone down and see how hard it is to get these clips up so I can get this off. Okay, once I got the tabs back here done, these ones up here came off much easier. So you see there, they just attach to here. So voila, that is off. Now I have more access to get to that part. Okay, next step is we got more pop tabs to do. There's 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. So I need to get this black housing off of these little clips. So I should be able to pry those up and out with my pry tool. So I'm understanding that this is a little bit tighter and a little bit trickier. So I might have to use not a pry tool, but a butter knife. Okay, so the pry tool did work fine. I did not have to use a butter knife. So this is now off. We got some kind of pieces here. Okay, so here's our growing list of components over here. So, oh wow, look at that. Okay, well, let's see what's next. Okay, so next step is I will be removing these 2 screws. There's one here and one down here that I need to take those out so I can get this part out. Okay, so what I understand is there's a tab down here that I need to press on. Another tab, of course, to get this out, but I need to be careful that this doesn't come with it because this will be loose. So I want to pull, start here with the tab. I'll let you know how I do. Okay, I did get it loosened, and this little piece did come out as they said. It comes off of that little post there. And then I had to loosen the tabs and then actually push down on a tab there. So now this is ready to disconnect. So, because I got it loosened from the housing, so I will show you the next step. I wiggled it out a little bit more, and there is a connector on the bottom. So I need to see it right here, right there. I need to just unplug it. Okay, so again, it's another tab which I need to reach with the tool to unplug this sensor. I'm having a hard time reaching this tab on this gear shift control, so I fished it through the gap. Oops, sorry. The gap between the where the console connects, so that'll give me better access to that. So I wasn't terribly sure which pin I was supposed to be pushing on to get this thing to release, so I pulled out my new one to see what it looks like without it in there, and I can see it's a wide open slot. So what I thought I was supposed to be pinching isn't actually what I'm supposed to be pinching. There is, let's see if I can image this here, a kind of like beneath that down there is where I need to reach. So I think I'm gonna need like either a pick or my needle nose to push on that tab, because it's beneath that I don't know what you want to call it, the arm or the border there. It's like down in there to like get it up and out, because pushing on this one above doesn't seem to be releasing it, so I gotta get down there. Okay, that did the trick. I just had to push down lower and I got the part out. So here is what this is. So when you put your car into park, it pushes against this part right here, which activates this thing, which tells the car, hey, you're in park. But you see how this rubber has an indentation on it? It's not functioning very well. And also, by the way, it's very sticky. So, but as it gets old, it gets this indentation on it. So the new one what they've done is they've replaced rubber with plastic. So this is much harder and will resist the shifter and basically engage this thing a little bit better. This one isn't like fully broken, but as you can see, it's very kind of sloppy and loose, and it's just not, it kind of presses in and it's not really, so sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but so it's kind of like one of those things that just, it starts to go until it's really gone. So right now it's starting to go, and with Mia's road trip, I don't want her getting stuck with a car that won't turn off. So we're gonna put this new one in its place. I just discovered too, it's no wonder why this is not working, because look, there's an actual like gouge out of it, and this rubber tip is actually lifting up off. It's almost like it's a sheath. So, but there's an actual hole that, because it's pushed through the rubber and then the hard plastic is underneath. So I hope the new one isn't made that way, but it does kind of look like a tip, but it does feel harder. It doesn't feel sticky and rubbery. So, but it does actually still look a little bit like a cap. So, but you know what? This car is a 2014, so if it lasts 3 years, that's probably all she needs. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to shut my phone down here. Anyways, as I was saying, I need to plug this in. I need to put these two pieces together to plug it in. So, here, let's try to focus in, sorry. I found that this was just as tricky plugging it in as it was unplugging it, because it's got that little tab has to go past, and I had to use my handy dandy butter knife to push the tab down to get it to pass through. So now here's the satisfying click. Yeah, not much of a click, sorry. But it's still satisfying because now it's plugged in, and then I can get it back put together. Okay, so I've got to get this part back into place, and then I can't forget to put this guy back in, and that spring came out when I pulled it off, so I hope I get that spring right. So anyways, I think that's what springs the shifter back into park. So yeah, can you believe these little plastic pieces is what's responsible for getting you from point A to point B? So I've wiggled it carefully back into place, and now for my little piece here, which honestly I'm gonna have to look back at my tutorial to see which direction it goes. I know it goes here, but I want to make sure, because that spring fell out, I want to make sure I got that spring in right. So I ended up pulling it back off and readjusting that spring, taking a closer look at the spring, and I'm sure I got it right this time, because I had it coming out of this hole, and I think it's supposed to be coming out of that hole, because when I put it in and then I plugged it into place, it gave me a much more satisfying like click into place. Like it just seemed not so wiggly and whatnot. So I'm sure I got it right now. So now I'm going to put my two screws back into place. One goes here and one goes down there. And then we'll give it a test, make sure that I got it connected back up properly. And then we can put everything back together.